things. So maybe 61 do a very gentleman's move again. He tried to fight with this Wowo one-on-one, and so that Tanya and Alexander can continue their one-on-one instead. That's why 61 tried to hold and store and also disturb this Wowo just to make sure Wowo is not in the range. But Tanya also tried to do another thing, is helping his teammate 61 to siege down this Wowo. I think Tanya really take all his effort to help and knowing what is the best time to do what. Alexander tried to use a light tank to do some defense, but that is not very effective during Tanya base still activated. And now he's trying to do some attack, and Wowo can't do the follow-up because 61 tried to store this Wowo, so he can't do the teammate 2-on-1 to siege this Tanya. And you can see Tanya base is still very brand new, about 80% above HP, and Wowo base start to go down a little bit more, and 61 base is still a brand new base that have no scratch at all. So that 61 continuously put more pressure because he know Wowo having some of the troops down, so he know that his defense is very weak. But the main thing is that he try to buy more time for Tanya, and so that he can also continuously to do his one-on-one to this Alexander. So both Alexander and Wowo really have to work something out. Not sure how they can win now, but I think the best solution for this team match is that Alexander try to put one of his archeries or somehow that put the team to help Wowo to siege down 61 first, because 61 is a little bit lower powers that might be easier to take down, and Tanya is just a little bit too strong for them, 60 over millions power. So two of them should really work some of the plan to take down 61 first, and also do some of the defense to make sure Tanya can't interrupt them, so that this 61 thinking this sandwich strategy might work, but actually is considered cut off. If team Matt, they know how to do the cut off now, just to cut off two of them, so they can't do the things that to make sure that sandwich is not working. But from the team farmer, since they're already doing this sandwich, I think the best is continuously doing what they are doing now. That is the best strategy and planning they already have. Tanya continuously to pressure Alexander not to let him pressure his teammate, and so that Wowo try to help Alexander, but 61 also continuously to disturb this Wowo. So Wowo can't do a lot of things if this Alexander go down, and Alexander actually is halfway going down. He having 50% HP now, you can see from the yellow line, and they can't even take about 20% from Tanya. That is unfortunately. Then I have to get some of my resources as well. And let's get back to the match. So I think this match is not about fairness or whatever, but it's the situations that when you sign up some of the tournaments and something happens, that is how we should adjust our strategy and how to adjust that your teammates and the time that during the tournament stay. But as long as there is someone to help your team, I think that is very good as well, even though he might not be the best teammate because he just joined you somehow. But I think the main purpose of this tournament and this match is about fun, and also try to understanding how we can increase and also improve our gameplay and the skill of how we fight, because this is just a friendly tournament and friendly match, but we also take it very seriously, because in the end you will receive a real prize with some real money cash, so that they might also try to work it out. But if you learn something good today, so you might use that on the next day when you try to fight your enemy, because you're already working about the same situations, that when your enemy try to airdrop next to you, then what you should do, whether you want to defend and how you should defend, if you want to siege down your enemy, what you should do first and how to bring down your enemy. And these are real fight situations, so there is no like I will just head up and give you some of the free kill. That is not happening. When you're facing your enemy, definitely the enemy doesn't give you any of the free things as well. And of course, the enemy doesn't want to talk about fairness or not, because the enemy will try to attack you during your offline time, or during you try to move your base, or try to attack any time that you are unprepared and not even having your best setup. But you know, if your teammate somehow doing some sandwich like this situation, then you can see this is very good siege. They coordinate, but you also say seeing this 61 also doing very good job to continue to pressure Vovo, so they can't do a long siege to Tanya, but at least if they both the team met bring down Tanya base another 10%. I think that's some of the achievement. Now Tanya try to coordinate with 61, try to bring down Vovo even more. And Alexander tried to use his light tank again, but his light tank just can't do a lot of things. He's using other trees the maximum range he can use, but also not able to do that. I think Wu really into a deep problem. If Alexander can't support now, maybe Wu will go down very quickly. But I think yeah, that's his problem because both of the 61 and Tanya still have their super heavy on the map, so definitely they will continuously to siege and try to make Wu very down. Now it's more than 50% HP going down. Alexander just very unprepared and thinking he really have to pressure Tanya. So now he tried to use more than 2 groups and 3 groups to go about almost all in, just to make sure Tanya stop so that Wu can have some time to rest and breathe. And 61, this is the really key person, even though he tried to be very gentle, and his base is still brand new base, you can see. And he really did the best thing that when team farmer Tanya, he really need the support, and this 61, he really know how to do it and how to make sure Tanya having his best support. Try to make sure the Wu can't interrupt Tanya and team farmer. I think they are doing very good formations and also teamworks. Now 61 and Wu try to do a one-on-one, and Tanya not very worried about it. Actually, he can really pressure some of the Wu base, but he also seeing this Alexander try to disturb him. But actually, Tanya base is activated. Definitely, he can do more than just sitting in the base. Now, finally, he tried to do something to pressure Wu, and 61 tried to do defense, and Wu have to stop. At least this Tanya really do some of the damage and try to make this Wu stop and also steal some of the Wu base HP. Now 61 try to do a coordination attack as well. So Wu make all his troops out is not a very good things to do. That's why I'm saying that on my new videos you should do 1-to-1 coming out and in, so that your base continuously to attack your enemy, because each time your troops going out to the base and get back to the base, all your troops and your officer will have some reset on their skill. That is not a very good things that you should have. You should really let your officer to stay inside your base, let them use the officer skill as well. If you check the report, officer skill is play a very big part on the skill damage, and that is one of the success of the defense. That's why we really have to work it out, not to just always use all in or out things to make sure that your defense is not working well. Because sometimes you make sure all the troops going out, and then your troops start to die, and that will make your defense weak as well. But the problem now is that Tanya really have full troops and 61 have about half. That's why knowing that Tanya will be siege Wu, they know Wu is the even better to sandwich him down. Now Alexander tried to do a help, and finally Tanya base not activated. At least Tanya know that, and he tried to do some retreat, and 61 know that. They try to pressure Wu and try to do a retreat, and this Alexander just can't do anything to help because just a little bit too far away from this 61, and he also can't take down Tanya now. So I think Team Matt, they are already having some kind of a serious problem. If they can't get out of this situation now, this sandwich problem from this team farmer is really doing a very good job. So now they try to do a one-on-one things, but actually they activated 2 of the opponent's base without a very good reason. So that Tanya really have an activated base, so Alexander continuously can't do a lot of defense, but he also try to pressure the enemy base. Now maybe it's working, maybe it's not, but 61 is doing also doing some of the one-on-one. So now you can see Alexander try to do something, but it's not much. At least 61, he base going down about 18%, but Wu is continuously going down with his base HP, and he can't really do 1-to-2 because his powers can't really handle that. But at least he do his best to defend, and 61 having 2 full group dying, that at least will stop the siege at this moment. Alexander also tried to do his best, but he can't do more than that. And that is something Alexander really have to work a little bit more just to understand how to be a very defensive to help your teammate instead of continuously activated this Tanya enemy base that he can't do the kill to make sure the enemy troops dying. So that we're also getting a very serious problem, getting this sandwich on the problem now. If they continuously sandwich Vovo, he will going down another 3 to 5 minutes because Tanya already having the full team already. 61 is also very prepared to do the assist, but now Tanya try to do some pressure to Alexander. I think he is also trying to play very smart. He's saying that we are trying to kill Vovo first, but we also aim Alexander so that Vovo have to come out maybe. If Vovo try to assist Alexander and Tanya can take the defense, and so that 61 can really try to attack Vovo. So I think Tanya is playing a very smart strategy now. Now you can see he somehow provoked this Alexander, and both of them really try to activate Tanya base, and 61 really do the siege and knowing that is the best time to do a support. So now you can see Tanya do a very good counter attack to make sure to reduce the enemy defense. Now you can see Alexander a little bit too far away to let his super heavy die without any other trees to siege, and so that his super heavy die is not worth. And now they know it's very good time to kill this Vovo because Alexander going down, Vovo alone can't do 1 to 2, and you can see Tanya doesn't use all his troops. He still have some base activated to do some auto attack, and Vovo try to defend, but definitely it's not enough because 2 to 1 is very heavy, and he's also doing some of the go in and go out. You can see he's super heavy, even having waste about 3 seconds or 4 seconds just to move in out and reset the super heavy's officer skill as well. And that is why we should not do that and try to delay your own defense and let your enemies having even better benefits to gain, because that is your mistake. Then this 61 knowing that it's only like 5% or 10% left on this Vovo, he really do an all-in to kill, and Tanya know that he really put his super heavy to support because his archery is going down just now just to do the siege. So Team Farmer, they have a lot of troops going down, but they trade off Vovo base down to like 5%. Now they try to use a bomber to finish the job. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but actually this is a very huge pressure because even though you think that the bomber can't kill your base, but you know, pressure is always there. So they are using this bomber to make some pressure, and then 61 and Tanya, both of them also try to recruit back the full troops. Vovo, definitely he still have his troop, and Alexander try to help, but that is not enough because one more push, Vovo base will be going down, and Alexander, he will be alone fighting too. But definitely Vovo still have 2 airlift to come back in, but his base is just a little bit too low to do anything at all. And you can see Team Farmer, their base still as good as well. Like 61, he still have more than 90% of his base HP, and Tanya still have more than 70% of his HP. So if continuously do the one-on-one with Tanya versus Alexander, definitely no problem. I think 61 still can sit out from this war because Tanya definitely have this no problem. So that I think 61 will focus on take down Vovo, and Tanya will continuously to pressure Alexander for these purposes. And then I think the win rate of this Team Farmer versus Team Matt, I think Team Farmer having about 75 to 85% win rate by now, or maybe more than that actually. But the key point is still back to Alexander. If he can do a very good job at this moment, basically they can still change the outcome of this match. But I don't see that happening anytime now. That is one of the problems because Alexander should really do more than that, because he is really the point to support his teammate, because his teammate is a little bit too weak and he is the strongest one. If he can't do a big changes and big change to this match, then definitely they can't win this match. And now he have a troop, but Tanya do the match and do the step first. That is very aggressive, and they know that they can take down Vovo, and Tanya doesn't want to do that yet. I think they really try to do something here. I would say maybe not. maybe this Tanya is trying to use his super heavy to try to play some aggressive, but definitely he tried to wait for his archeries to recruit back, and so the enemy will continuously feel the pressure that how to defend their base. Definitely Tanya not going to do the siege. He's also waiting for his teammate to have full troops. But I think 61 he's also think that they are time to do the siege, maybe or maybe not, but definitely they need some time to have their full troops. And so that Wowo and Alexander, even though they have full troops already, they can't do the counter attack. That is one of the problem, because Tanya continuously puts some pressure, and so that Alexander and Wowo can't do the counter attack to kill the enemy base. Instead of continuously focus on the Tanya super heavy, that is not the winning ticket as well. So now Alexander try to do the siege to kill Tanya, but definitely if Wowo go out now, 61 will take down his base, and Tanya definitely can do the defense. Don't worry, can see 61 already do the things. Even though Wowo try to defend, but definitely Wowo base will go down.